The 18 Inevitable Factors 5. Siafang. August 16, 2005. 11. Diet, dietary and living habits. Diet provides the nutrients that sustain life, and the quality of diet directly affects a person's health. People who have good nutrition from a young age have better physiological development, better complexion and mental state, fewer diseases, flexible minds, and clear thinking. If the diet is poor or biased towards certain foods, the body will not develop in a balanced way. For example, if one is overweight, some parts are more developed, and some parts are weaker. Weakness can easily lead to the occurrence of diseases, and diseases will affect a person's daily life and work efficiency, which will in turn affect a person's success or failure in life. Dietary habits are closely related to a person's health. From the perspective of health preservation, habits such as eat well in the morning, full at noon, and less in the evening, eat before you are hungry, stop before you are full, and the key to diet is slow, soft, and warm are beneficial to health and longevity. However, habits such as overeating, not eating on time, liking to eat raw and cold hard food, not paying attention to food hygiene, flies flying around in the kitchen and dining table, cooking too much, and often eating leftovers are prone to cause diseases. Living habits not only affect a person's health, but also affect a person's thinking. A person who often stays up late and never gets up in the morning sees and thinks differently from a person who rests at sunset and gets up at sunrise. Over time, the health status and life paths of the two people are very different. Health is the primary factor to ensure a person's happiness, and diet, dietary and living habits are closely related to health, so diet and habits directly affect a person's success or failure in life. The principle is simple, but the conditions do not allow, the pressure of life is great, and everywhere is really helpless. 12. Sudden changes. Sudden changes refer to invisible, latent, and unnoticeable factors that gradually accumulate until they reach a limit, and then suddenly erupt in a way that is beyond people's control. Such as cerebral hemorrhage, sudden heart disease, sudden neurological disorder, sudden facial distortion, sudden strange disease, lightning strike, drowning, sudden car accident, being beaten, shot, suddenly arrested, like the sudden attack on the World Trade Center in the United States, and all kinds of unexpected life changes that affect one's entire life. Once encountered, the path of life will take a huge turn. The vast majority of people believe that incidents like plane crashes and sudden car accidents are bad luck, accidental encounters, but in fact, they are not accidental, but inevitable. All changes in the universe have a cause, and all changes in nature are the result of quantitative changes. Without the accumulation of quantitative changes, there would be no qualitative changes. When quantitative changes reach the limit, it will inevitably lead to qualitative changes. Plane crashes and car accidents seem to happen accidentally from the surface, but in fact, they are bound to happen. Only by standing in the perspective of the negative universe can we see the ins and outs of its changes. If a person's death is imminent, it is unavoidable. If it's not in a car accident, it will be in some other event. People who do not understand the negative universe cannot extend even a minute of their life. Just like the bullet in the gun barrel, once the trigger is pulled, the firing pin is hit, it must be shot out quickly, and it is impossible for the bullet to stay in the gun barrel for a few more seconds. Let's analyze a little bit. For example, if there are 100 passengers on a plane and the majority of people's death is imminent, then this plane is bound to crash due to either mechanical failure or operational failure. It could also crash due to encountering strong airflow or abnormal weather. In short, those who should die will inevitably die, and those who should not die will definitely survive. If a person's death is not yet due, and should not be shocked and disabled after surviving a plane crash, then even if he has bought a ticket, he cannot board the plane. Either suddenly something happens at home, or suddenly feels unwell, or halfway through he remembers that he left his passport or ticket at home, or traffic jam on the road. In short, when he arrives at the airport with a sweaty head, the plane has already taken off.